Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So with that being said, I hope that you're all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night if you guys are out there in the world. So with that in mind, I recently saw a post come up on my timeline from Bank Social. Now, I've talked about them in the past, right? This is a open banking DeFi giant that is building out DLT innovations around finance on Hedera. And just recently, their COO, as well as the Hedera Chief Policy Officer, spoke in Washington, D.C., alongside and in front of the nation's legislators regarding member-owned banking, credit unions, and also Web3. And this is actually a very, very big discussion, actually, because as we look at regulators, as we look at what's happening around legislation within DeFi, crypto, everything, there is still a lot left to do. Regulations are so crucial for mass adoption to actually take place, and it seems as though Hedera and projects building out on Hedera are fully focused on this. And if you guys do look at some of these images, here are some of the images from the discussion. So, this is substantial. It shows you that Hedera and also projects building out on Hedera are putting in the time and the effort to actually have these meaningful conversations with those in power that do really kind of make the moves around adoption and acceptance and even regulations and legislations around crypto and DeFi and even banking itself. Now, beyond this, I also saw this post back in February, and I want to bring this back up because, if you are holding HBAR, you should know about these solutions. You should know about what's really going on here. And this is DropCC. We have, did you know DropCC, the Hedera-based micropayments solution, was showcased by FedNow. Now, we talked a little bit about this back in August of 2023, but I want to bring this back up because for the rest of this video, I'm mainly going to be focused on payments and what's really happening with Hedera. And for all those HBAR holders out there, the rest of this video should get you very, very excited. But listen closely to this video.
On the news that the Fed now highlighting drop, why did you decide to build on top of Hedera?
Oh, that was the easiest decision that we made. Hedera Hashgraph is really built for fintech applications. The speed of the transaction, it can do 10,000 transactions a second. When you talk about small value transactions, you're doing small value transactions. That means you might do 10, 20 of them in a day, right? So we needed the speed, we needed the volume, and Hedera has that. But the second important aspect is the cost of the transaction. So Hedera Hashgraph has a fixed cost, and it's fraction of a second. It's 0.001. So it's a no-brainer when it comes to building a payment platform. I'm kind of surprised how come others haven't built their platform on Hedera. The third important aspect, which is more specific to Drop as we promote our product, people are also interested in who's behind this ledger, right? And the governing council that they have in Hedera helps us. They have top financial institutions behind them. They have top companies like Google's and IBM behind them. It all helps. It helps when they see it's open access, open source, and a large set of enterprises behind it as a governing council. So if you look at the entire package, it becomes a very easy option to go for.
So again, as we really hear these discussions with these projects, right, it just goes to show you the power behind Hedera. It's specifically built for, all of these major use cases and, payments. Payments, fintech use cases, like this is where a lot of these DLTs steal the show, and Hedera definitely is stealing the show. Now, as we do look at this, let's go back to this post from February of 2023, and this is actually from the IMF. We have technology behind crypto can also improve payments, providing a public good. A new kind of multilateral platform could improve cross-border payments, leveraging technological innovations for public policy objectives. Now, remember, cross-border payments, it's well over a $150 trillion plus asset class in itself. And beyond that, right, this is an industry ripe for disruption. We know that by the end of 2027, that cross-border payments are going to be reaching into the values of $250 plus trillion. There is so much money out there behind some of these major industries, and DLT is definitely there to help this become not only digital, but also streamline the efficiencies that DLT does have to offer, because cross-border payments to date have not really improved at all. So this is definitely something that we are focused on. Now, we have here that technology has jumped ahead. New payment technologies include tokenization, encryption, and programmability. Tokenization means representing property rights to an asset, such as money, on an electronic ledger, a database held by all market participants, optimized to be widely accessible, synchronized, easily updatable, and tamper-proof. Anonymity of token balances and transactions is not required, and in fact undermines financial integrity. And then, of course, they do break down encryption and programmability. And we also have private sector innovation. Now, private and public sector innovation is happening. They are working together with those private and also public players. We do know this from all of the previous outlined PDF files with the BIS, the IMF, the World Bank, you name it. Of course, they do mention CBDCs and stuff like that, but as we really look at DLT, blockchain, and just crypto itself, we know that this technology is going to help payments definitely streamline into the future. Now, outside of this post, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because there was also a report from Ripple and also the US Faster Payments Council. Now, I've talked a little bit about this already on the channel, but this is transforming the way money moves. Now, as we look into this, this is with 300 payment leaders around the world that participated with this. This is from analysts to directors to VPs and even C-level executives. Now, as we do scroll down, we could actually see a brief overview of crypto use and payments today. Despite trillions of dollars still moving around the world via an antiquated and costly payment system, the promise of blockchain and burgeoning crypto use cases present one avenue for transformative payment opportunities. As adoption grows, both providers and customers appear poised to benefit from reduced process complexity, lower cost, and enhanced transparency. Now, down here, we actually see that new research indicates that although global crypto payment transaction volume is small relative to the total payment volume, its long-term growth prospects are bright. In the US, crypto payment adoption is on the rise, with a forecasted 5.5 million crypto payment users in 2023, a 350% increase in just 3 years. As the figure below shows, of the 4 primary use cases contributing to crypto payments growth in the US, remittances are expected to remain the most mature use case, followed by B2B cross-border payments. And here you guys have that. Now, one thing that I want to take away from this is the fact that, stablecoin adoption. Guys, stablecoins back in 2022 settled over $11 trillion plus. We know that Hedera has the stablecoin studio built out on it. We also know that Hedera is working with major leading stablecoin issuers. This is also another avenue to definitely focus on when it comes to cross-border payments. But crypto usage and payments continues to grow at a rapid pace. A 350% increase in just a 3-year time frame is something definitely crucial to note. That's a massive growth rate if you actually think about it, especially with 5% of the world only being invested into crypto, which is crazy to me. But beyond this, where does Hedera stand? Well, over here is a great post by the Hbar Bull. Now, he actually has this weekly update on his channel as well. This is actually with Rob Allen. And we have in this week's Shark Bites with Rob Noddle, which is also Rob Allen. We get an update on Hedera Governing Council member Australian Payments Plus. So it's a big deal, which is the quote from this. Check it out.
I'd previously been the entrepreneur in residence at Fpos, which is when we joined the Governing Council 4 years ago now. But I joined and then we joined the Governing Council 3 years ago. And Fpos was merged with all the other payment schemes, domestic payment schemes in Australia into this one body, this one company called AP Plus, or Australian Payments Plus, which operates all of the payments infrastructure in Australia. So we have Fpos, which is the debit card payment scheme. We've got the new payments platform, which is the real-time payments system. And we've got BPay, which is the bill payment system. But in addition to that, we've got other digital businesses such as Connect ID, which is the business I built when I was previously at Fpos, which is a digital identity platform for Australia. We have Beam, which is a consumer wallet, and we have QR services and a range of other things that are kind of adjacent to that kind of operation of the core payments rails for Australia. So it's a big deal.
Now, let's actually break this down. So as we look at Hedera, yes, Australian Payments Plus is working with Hedera, Fpos, was like one of the big companies behind this, which we will obviously address in this video. One thing that I want you all to understand is just how big Hedera is becoming outside of the US. I feel as though everyone is focused on the US and specific areas around the world, but not enough people are focused on some of these areas like Australia and how big they are in terms of payment volume and just also payment value. Now, Australian Payments Plus is an organization that everyone should focus on because this has merged some of the greatest companies and names out there that allow money to move in Australia. We actually have here that one organization, more possibilities. We're here to continue to transform the payment space in Australia to enable all payment users to feel more, even more connected to the innovations and opportunities that matter most today and will help improve tomorrow. So here we have their purpose. We provide globally competitive payment services, with which are resilient, safe, efficient, fair, accessible, and cost-effective, and which meet the present and future requirements of the users of the Australian payment system, including financial institutions and payment service providers, while facilitating the provision of low-cost solutions for retailers, other businesses, and their customers. And we do know that Hedera is tapped in on a lot of these major initiatives. In fact, if we scroll down, we could see some of their full focus down here in terms of like leadership and governance. We also see a few things down here in terms of like the connections behind this and also even the action plan behind this as well. Now, if we actually look at the organization itself and look at some of the names behind it, we have delivering more value to Australia. And here we have Fpos. We also have a new payments platform, BPay, and then also Connect ID. So as we look at this, look at all of these names and look at what they're providing. So first off, let's look at Fpos, Australia's domestic debit network. Guys, initially when Fpos became a GC of Hedera, we really homed in on this one because this basically powers all card services in Australia. Like, this is an absolute giant name. When we look at Fpos over here, we could see the full breakdown of them, what they do, how everything works. They have the QR, they also have the tap to pay on mobile solutions, and then also routing. Of course, yes, they are behind like the cards in Australia as well, which I've talked about in previous videos. But look at the members that are tied into Fpos. So here we have Partnering for Success. We're proud to collaborate and work alongside some of Australia's leading brands and emerging innovators in the space. Look at their participants. Guys, these are massive giants. Like, talk about not just the banking giants on here, like Citi, ING, you also have ANZ. There's so many major banks, but look at the other companies as well. You have major fintechs, PayPal's on here, WorldPay from FIS, which is also a GC of Hedera. Like, these are giant names in the payment space. And outside of this though, right, you also have other companies tapped in with Fpos. Like, for an example, over here with WorldPay, actually from FIS, they actually joined AP Plus just recently as Fpos member to further Australian market activity. And even down here, we get a little bit of a glimpse on just how big this actually is. So we have WorldPay customers can now benefit from the processing strength of Fpos infrastructure, directly accessing Australia's domestic debit network, adding to the 2 billion transactions already being made every year through Fpos. So Fpos actually already creates or has 2 billion transactions moving through the network, which is crazy to think about. So imagine how big this network actually is. Now, is all this running on Hedera right now? Absolutely not. But I do think that at some point in time, we are going to start to see this really moving over Hedera. Why? Because we are moving towards the digital economy. Focus on what's being created right now. In my opinion, this entire Australian Payments Plus platform or organization is more so building out infrastructure. Like, for example, we have Fpos, which is the debit network, the domestic debit network of Australia. Then we also have New Payments Platform, which is real-time data-rich payments. Now, this is the platform that's actually providing the infrastructure layer for payments. And if we actually go over here to New Payments, this is the platform. We have flexible platform that harnesses real-time payments. Now, you might look at this and say, well, this completely defeats the purpose of Hedera being on the list in terms of possibly being one of those big players that are going to have instant settlement tied to it through something like Australian Payments Plus and be the giant name around that. But it doesn't, right? And we know that it doesn't because, again, when we look at new payments platform, if we look at the company, right, we can see some of the names behind it. We can see their actual platform and what they are doing. Yes, they are a part of the big picture. I don't think that they are going to be the dominant force behind this, though. And the reason why I say that is because when you actually go back to the original viewpoint of both of these announcements, where we have Fpos joining the Hedera Governing Council, even within this, we still see the use case focus here of being payments. This is all around digital payments. They want to tap into DLT around micro payments. We are excited to participate in the development of the next generation micro payments technology that has the potential to open up entirely new ways of conducting business for Australian enterprises and enable compelling new experiences for Australian consumers. This was a big one, right? And even down here, we actually see the use case, example around this. Now, everything that we have been seeing from these announcements, like this goes back to 2021, it's still focused on micropayments. Even over here from the January 24th, 2024 announcement with Australian Payments Plus joining as GC, we could see first off that they are still processing well over 3.9 billion transactions in just a single year back in 2022. They also have 150 partner institutions tied to them. They're still focused on micropayments though. Even if we scroll down from the Chief Information Officer at Australian Payments Plus, with distributed ledgers, payments organizations like AP Plus can benefit from increased transparency, enhanced security, and improved efficiency in transaction processing. AP Plus has several initiatives underway to ride the wave of innovation, with Hedera unleashing the full potential of distributed ledger technology to transform our organization. So that means the entire organization will be transformed through DLT, specifically Hedera in this case. Now, looking at the other players tied to the Australian Payments Plus organization, like BPay, this is pay bills an easy way with BPay. Like, these are all major payment giants that are tied to this organization that is now tied to Hedera that want to reap the rewards and the benefits of utilizing Hedera. And by the way, BPay is available in the online banking world of over 150 banks, credit unions, and building societies. Over 60,000 businesses offer BPay to help their customers pay bills securely as well. So a lot of exposure here. Also, last but not least, Connect ID. So Connect ID was originally tied to the announcement back in 2021. Guys, we scroll down, we can actually see here are the 5 elements around their digital strategy in terms of what Fpos was trying to do. We have mobile wallets, including Beemit, e-commerce, digital identity utilizing Connect ID, fintech ecosystem access, and national QR code payments rollout. That's their major initiatives that they were fully focused on. If we actually look at Connect ID, this is still at the forefront of what they're trying to do. In fact, back in March 28th, we had digital ID, a step forward for a more secure digital economy. Again, this is all fully focused out on the digital economy, and they want to leverage everything. That means we're talking about DLT, blockchain-based solutions, anything that you can think of, they are innovating with. That's why when we look at Hedera and the full focus that they're really kind of looking at with Hedera, specifically the power and the potential behind DLT, and in this case, Hedera, it goes to show you that yes, Hedera will play a key role in revolutionizing the Australian payments market. But this goes back to my original viewpoint that payments and just finance itself is being revolutionized by these DLTs. It's not just XRP. It's not just what Ripple is doing. Look at all of the clear winners here. Hedera is focused on working with regulators, working with legislators, working with those that they need to work with in order to be a major key blue chip player in this new realm of payments and finance that is being created through DeFi, blockchain, and DLT. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.